The United States is claiming that most of the hostages held by Hamas in Gaza may not be alive anymore. We're going to get into the details on that, along with a full update on what's happening with Iran and their imminent attack on the state of Israel. We have new, very important intelligence reports coming out of Iran that we're going to break down for you, as well as a massive manhunt has been happening in Samaria this whole day for a Jewish teen that disappeared this morning. I'm Ben, and this is the Israel Guys. Welcome back to the Israel Guys, where we believe in a world of Jew hatred and anti-Israel propaganda. You should have a direct connection to the land and people of Israel. Guys, don't forget, if you do have a comment or question, don't forget to drop it down below in the comment section. I love engaging with you there. I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. Also, don't forget about our summit coming up in May. It's your chance to stand with the land and people of Israel. And we would love to see you in Nashville, Tennessee at the Sonesta Hotel in May. Go to theisraelguys.com/summit. Link is also in the description below to register right now. Full update on what's happening in Iran. Last weekend, we brought you a report that there was intelligence that Iran may strike the state of Israel within 24 to 48 hours. Iran did not do that, thank God. There was no direct attack on Israel, thank God, once again, but it has continued to be a very, very tense week in this buildup of escalation. In case you have not heard, several weeks ago, Israel struck the consulate right next to the Israeli embassy in Damascus, where senior leaders of the Iranian military were at the time consulting with their proxies, giving advice to their proxies on how to direct the Iranian war against the state of Israel through Hezbollah, through Hamas, through Syria. Israel got wind that the high-level military commanders were there, struck the embassy, and killed several of them. In response, Iran vowed that they will attack the state of Israel, and it will be a very, very harsh response. And there have been several intelligence reports that have been dropped to date, including the one last weekend. There's a new one this weekend, along with more information that I'm going to drop here in just a second. To take a step back, though, in context, this has got to be a very, very difficult decision for Iran because they hate the state of Israel. They have vowed to destroy the state of Israel for themselves, also to their people. They've made that commitment to their people. But if Iran does a full-on strike against the nation of Israel from their territory to the sovereign territory of the state of Israel, it will not end well for Iran. It could be very detrimental for the state of Israel, could be terrible for the state of Israel. Only God knows as to exactly how that would play out. But God willing, it would not end well in the end for Iran. Israel's advanced projected military capability is perfectly capable of destroying Iran or huge swaths of Iran, and if they're pushed to the wall using full-on nuclear capabilities. So this would not end well for Iran, and Iran knows it. But Arab countries do have a long history of attacking the state of Israel, even when they know it would be detrimental to themselves. Hate is a powerful thing, and many of these Arab countries are blinded by just astronomical amounts of hate for the state of Israel. And we've seen over and over again, Arab countries have not hesitated to attack Israel, even when they knew it more than likely would not end well for themselves. Yesterday, as I said, a new report dropped from the Wall Street Journal, once again saying that Iran is preparing for a direct attack that could happen within the next 24 to 48 hours. That was yesterday. They cited an unnamed source, an individual who was briefed by the Iranian regime leaders. The individual said that the attack could come within 24 to 48 hours, and that also he stressed that there was no final decision on the attack had been made. So I don't know if that's a warning or Iran dropping a hint to see what the reaction from the international community will be, to test the waters a bit before the strike happens, since they know that Israel's on highest alert anyway. It won't really affect Israel's response since their military is on highest alert anyway. As of this point, there are reports that the Iranian military has been presenting the supreme leader inside of Iran with strike options on Israel. Also, in recent hours, military-backed social media accounts have been posting videos simulating missile strikes on Haifa and Israel's nuclear facility in Dimona. Like I just said, Israel is in a very high state of preparedness. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, in a visit to the Tel Nof Air Force Base, when speaking with a squadron of fighter pilots just yesterday, said, "Whoever harms us, we will harm. We are prepared to meet all the security needs of the state of Israel, both defensively and offensively." Also, yesterday, the U.S. Embassy in Israel told its staff to not go outside the greater Tel Aviv area, Jerusalem, or the Beersheba areas as well. So that makes you wonder if they know something that we do not. Also, Iran has threatened that with this attack of Israel on themselves, on their sovereign state, they are threatening that they're reconsidering publicly going nuclear again. Scientists inside of Iran have come out and said that, they don't think it would take much to finish a nuclear bomb, and that they think that they should just go full bore and finish this out, as they are. This really means nothing. If Iran wants to create a nuclear bomb, they're doing so undercover. Israel's been monitoring that for quite some time, and that really doesn't mean anything at all. It is concerning, but like I said, if they're working on a nuclear weapons, what they say in public really has nothing to do with what they're actually doing in private. There was also a CBS report today that Iran said that Iran may possibly use over 100 drones and dozens of missiles in a direct attack on the state of Israel. So things are very much heating up. We need to continue to pray for the nation of Israel, for God to intervene and protect his people inside of Israel, no matter what happens with Iran. In a minute, we're going to get to an update on the possible state of hostages, the Israeli hostages that are being held in Gaza right now. But first, let me tell you about one of the best ways to support Israel right now. Our friends at Blessed by Israel ship the beautiful products of small businesses and families from Israel's heartland to people all around the world. You can buy the wonderful taste, smells, and goodness of the Promised Land, and Blessed by Israel ships them straight to your doorstep. Check out the amazing extra virgin olive oil, savory spices, cosmetics, hand creams, soaps, lotions, chocolates, coffees, and much, much more. The best part about this is that at the same time as you're enjoying the goodness of the land of Israel, you're also blessing the faithful pioneers who are restoring and rebuilding Judea and Samaria. Your purchases are an effective way to contribute to the strengthening of Israel. So head over to blessedbyisrael.com. That's blessed, B-U-Y, Israel.com to buy the wonderful products of Israel's heartland and support the pioneers of Judea and Samaria. Again, that's blessed, B-U-Y, Israel.com. The link is in the description below. Arut Sheva just dropped a report that U.S. and Israeli officials are fearing that most of the hostages inside of Gaza are not alive anymore. So far, the IDF has confirmed that 34 of the remaining 129 hostages are dead. And in the most recent hostage negotiations with Hamas, Hamas said that they were unable to provide 40 living hostages in the women, children, elderly, or requiring medical attention category. So just to repeat that again, in that category of non-healthy, that's excluding healthy military personnel that Hamas captured, which there were very few actually captured. Hamas says that they cannot provide 40 living hostages that are women, children, elderly, or requiring medical attention, civilians or badly injured military personnel. That's crazy. That's basically them admitting or pretending to admit that pretty much all of the hostages are not living. This could be a bluff by Hamas, to pull the hostages out later when they need them more. But it also could be true. A U.S. intelligence source told Arut Sheva that they think most of the hostages are already dead, but their intel is limited. It's possible this could be true. We know the hostages have been living in horrible living conditions, being held by Hamas, torture, lack of food, starvation, terrible conditions. Also being held in a war zone, probably moved around all over the place by Hamas to wherever is most advantageous for them. Some may have been killed in Israeli airstrikes or crossfire in between Hamas and the IDF. But to take this with a grain of salt, Hamas has never been known for telling the truth. They have no incentive to tell the truth in most of these scenarios. Also, the U.S. may be feeding this information into the media to continue to build their narrative, because the hostages have been a huge inconvenience to the United States in their attempt to save Hamas. Because the United States have been pushing like crazy for a ceasefire inside of Israel to save Hamas before Israel obliterates them for whatever reason. And in that push, the hostages have been one of the only things that have kept the Joe Biden administration from going full bore in their attempt to save Hamas, because you really can't stand up to the world. Well, you can, but it's very difficult to stand up to the world and say, we don't care about the hostages that Hamas is holding, push for a ceasefire anyway, even though that's what the Biden administration seems like they're trying to do. Biden just came out and made a statement the other day where he basically said he would push for a ceasefire inside of Israel with Hamas, an extended ceasefire, even with no negotiation over hostages whatsoever, which is insane. But most of the administration continues to push for a ceasefire with an exchange of hostages. But if the Biden administration can push the narrative into the media that most of the hostages are dead, or all the hostages are dead, or whatever, then that takes hostages off the table and they can push for the ceasefire right away and save Hamas wholesale. This is evil at its core. What the Biden administration has been doing in their attempt to save Hamas. And if this is a front to continue their effort to save Hamas, I don't even know what to say. I mean, God is their judge, and they will have to stand before the creator of the universe and answer for this horrendous evil that they are pursuing, just like Hamas will have to stand before God as well. Also, just today, early this morning, there was a 14-year-old boy in the Benjamin region of Samaria, Judea and Samaria, and Benjamin, who is a shepherd. He left home with his flock early this morning and has not been seen since. Apparently, his flock returned to his hometown of Malchei Shalom without him, without the shepherd with them. The IDF, border police, trackers, dog units have been conducting a massive manhunt for him throughout Judea and Samaria. So far, they have not announced publicly that anything has turned up. We need to pray like crazy for him to be safely returned to his family. He's not been kidnapped or murdered. Also need to continue to pray like crazy for God to protect the nation of Israel, the Jewish people, during these terribly, terribly dangerous times. Don't forget to check out the beautiful products from Judea and Samaria from Blessed by Israel. The link is in the description below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. All of you who have stayed around to the very end, join us here on YouTube. Drop us a comment down in the comment section below. Tune out the fake news and tune into what is actually happening here in the land of Israel. We'll be back every day, Monday through Friday, with your direct connection to the land and people of Israel.